Welcome back to another episode of these crazy people that just eat meat and can't stop talking about it. It's your host Tom with your other host Justin, all out life carnivore, and we're here today to torture Justin because he's in a bad mood.
There we go. It's fine.
So, do you want to talk about the debate at home that led to your moodiness? Since I'm putting you on the
Hey,
spot,
welcome to another episode of the Meat Mosaic or Epidose. Do you still say Epidose? I don't
yeah,
remember. I
of
think
course,
I'm so used to you
another
saying it. It
epidose.
doesn't even register anymore. Um, this is the Meat Mosaic. I'm Justin. That's Tom. Thanks for coming. Thanks for clicking. Thanks for liking, sharing, subscribing. All that is appreciated. Commenting. Comments are really helpful. Um, we have a couple of groups to interact more with us. We have Meat Mosaic on Facebook. Tom also has Autistic Carnivores on Facebook. And we have Meat Mosaic on a Telegram channel. All the links are, of course, in the description below. My Instagram, Tom's Instagram, our Facebooks, all the usual good stuff. Of course, we don't advertise too often, but we do coaching as well. If you feel like you'd like some help with this whole keto-y, carnivore eat, mo better way kind of life thing going on, um, we can do our best to help you with that. Um, and Hmm. Today we're just kind of having a little bit of a chat. May have a special guest drop in. We'll see. And so the debate, right? I guess. Fine. So me and Sarah,
Discussion.
yeah, we're talking. My lovely wife, Sarah. We might be inheriting a dog, and so I was like, oh, awesome. Because I'm thinking, perfect chance to get like a real carnivore dog that lives to be like 35 or something in like human years. Um, but Sarah thinks that like it's gonna turn the dog into like a feral savage dog, and it's gonna eat people or something. Which I mean, to me
Interesting.
is still not a drawback to me, but she thinks of the legal costs. um, and I was like, well, I mean, make a great protector, if it just takes bite out of people without a worry. But legally, that could be a problem. So yeah, bit of a, it's just the conflict of people just not being in this world, right, and just not having a grasp of this stuff, and it's not her fault, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
she's kind of new to this way of eating.
right? Yeah. Well, new to me, just through me, she doesn't eat this way. She's not against meat, but she's not as pro meat as we are. But it's kind of we're on the outer edge of pro meat, so it's not you know not unheard of or whatever.
Well, and I told you I think you already brought it up. My dog's been eating meat for over 5 years, probably 6 years now, right?
Mm,
And your wife's met my dog. She's very docile.
mm,
She even tolerated your autistic nephew pretty good.
right.
She
She
wasn't
certainly
happy
did.
to be lunged at, but she didn't lose her mind or anything. And she could have
uh,
taken him too. He's not very big.
no, would have been missing some face. No, no, she is not my Comage. Those are still a bit harder to come by.
Well, she's half Mongolian, so she's semi carnivore, right?
Yeah,
She left me a
she's what is
beautiful
it?
plate of she left me a beautiful plate of chicken feet the other day.
Right. She's carnivore by blood, but not currently practicing.
What's up, Raymond? Raymond apparently didn't have a concert to go to tonight for the first time in a while. I guess he
Or
was
a
here last
football
week,
game.
right?
Well, football's over, so maybe that's why he's here.
Mm, right on, right on. So, um, I thought we should, we've been eating nothing but meat for a while, so we should probably check in on each other. So, run through the usual questions. Um, is eating carnivore breaking the bank for you?
Mm. Depends on whose bank you're talking
I
about.
mean, do you think you're
Uh,
spending more money on meat than you used to on everything else?
I mean, I had quite a good. Well, I still have. They're just not allowed to be displayed anymore. A collection of anime girls, and so certainly was spending more on them than meat. So that's for sure.
Mm,
I mean, less frequency, but you know,
you're
dropping a
spending more
couple
money on
$100
on posters of cartoon girls.
of figurines of cartoon girls.
Oh,
Yeah,
figurines. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Gotcha.
but also a few posters and some comic books.
So eating carnivore is cheaper than buying anime posters and figurines.
Yeah, I'd say so.
All
That's probably
right.
true. Yeah.
So how about constipation? Have you been blocked up for the last 3 or 4 years?
I can go. I can certainly go. Yeah, depending on what I eat, you know. Um, as we all know, not always 100% compliant, but uh, yeah. Once you get past the first 5 days, it's not so bad.
Mm. Yeah, and I didn't notice anything, so I just felt better the whole time. So some that's goes that way for some people, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how graphic we want to get, but
Just be honest.
now, now it looks like my colon, so I'm pretty proud of that. Like
It
there's,
looks like you're calling.
it looks like my colon.
Oh, you saying yeah? You pass well-formed turds.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I used to be like a once a day cow patty kind of guy
Mm.
when I was more plant based,
Yeah.
certainly, you
Yeah.
know. But now it's like, oh, hey, that looks like it came out of a human. That's probably a good
Mm.
thing.
Oh, so people can identify where you've been by your residue.
Did
So,
you know that President Bush, I forget what it's called, but basically he made it, he classified his own feces, like
really?
where you could not test, and that's not that's W Junior, the I was born and alive when he was president. Um, Little W, George Bush, made his fecal matter classified. Don't ask me how or why I know that. I don't remember where that fact came from, but that's a fact.
Hey, we're getting an incoming call.
Oh,
Who?
on screen.
Oh, look who's here.
Hello.
Hey,
I'm in the
Janice.
car.
Hey, Janice.
It's
Hi.
good to
Can you
see
hear
you.
me?
Good to see you.
Should I hang up?
Yeah,
I'm
we
in the
can hear you.
car.
We can hear the rain or traffic in the background more, but we can hear
Sorry.
you.
I thought I was on my. I'm not on my AirPods. Okay, I'm gonna leave then. Sorry.
Can't tell.
No, it's okay. I mean, it's
Almost
not.
home.
It's good to see you, man.
Well,
I'll
Good
that's
see
to be
your
you.
on.
I'll
fault.
see you in a bit.
It's your fault for using an Apple product. That's why this isn't working.
Okay.
All right, yeah, check back
I
in
don't
with
know
us when
why
you
it's
get home
not.
then.
I can't connect to the.
Please don't crash.
All right, it's Raymond shot us a question. He needs an opinion on medication for a fever. I normally let it take its course au natural, but if needed, ibuprofen, acetaminophen, aspirin, or an NSAID. Well, I think technically those are all NSAIDs. You could throw
Yeah.
a leaf in there. I think typically acetaminophen is the one that works best for fevers, but it's also hardest on the liver. So you might want to judge your own liver health. Do you have any liver problems? Have you had a history of abusing your liver? And of course, most people, it doesn't matter if they take just a little bit for a short period of time. It doesn't seem to be a problem. Um, Ibuprofen supposedly a little easier on the liver. Aspirin. Aspirin could be a problem if you got ulcers or something like that. Because it kind of thins out the blood. The other NSAIDs like Aleve, which is naproxen. They tend to be pretty mild. Any and all of them can contribute to leaky gut or increased intestinal permeability. But I'd say if you're just getting over a fever and you only take it for a couple days, it's probably whatever ones worked best for you in the past. What do you think, Justin?
I'm really thinking more ice pack. Um, Probably what I would do is just an ice pack on the head, pretty much. A fever is good for you. It helps your body. It actually raises your body temperature to help prevent the bacteria or virus from reproducing. Makes it a hostile environment for them. Um, so yeah, classic ice pack. Personally, even if I was dying, I wouldn't take any of those. But my reason for that is when I had really bad migraines before going carnivore, before even doing homeopathy to treat them, I was popping Excedrin migraine like candy and 800 ibuprofens. And it got to a point where every single time I would take one, I'd get severe stomach pain, like really bad stomach pain. So I know I did something to my gut that was probably not good, completely inflamed it. So I'm just really scared of experiencing that again or
Did you ever
messing.
taking him for a fever though?
I mean, I'm sure I did, especially as a kid,
But you don't really remember any
but I don't
specifics.
really remember any
Yeah.
specifics. I mean, I'm sure a one off is fine, right? So
So if you're gonna have
acetamin.
a ice pack for a fever, where do you put the ice pack? Your whole body?
Well, I mean, usually just put it on your head, and usually that'll cool down. I mean, you can put it on your head, you can put it on your stomach, you can put it on your head and neck.
I guess it
You know,
depends on how high the fever is, right?
yeah.
If it's only
Um,
100 or so, it's not so bad.
when I had the pestilence, my fever was 101.8, and I have the ice beanie, so I just put on the ice beanie, and I put like a neck ice thing too, and I wore that through like a day and a night, and then I was fine the next day. Well, not fine, but at least I didn't have a fever.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's acetaminophen is the one that actually has an effect on the mitochondria in the trying to remember where it is. One of the one of the organs of the body that actually regulates temperature. Actually, it actually slows it
Thalamus,
down.
thymus.
It might be the thalamus. Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
remember now, but it actually chemically affects their activity and it lowers the body temperature. So, and yeah, I think white willow bark is actually the progenitor to aspirin. So the aspirin molecule is a modern manufactured version of the active ingredient in the willow bark. So,
Now, the Native Americans would either go jump in a lake or in the sweat lodge.
and it's raining here today, Raymond. So maybe you just gotta go outside, lay down on the Chase Lounge in the rain, let the rain cool you off. Maybe you just go out there and sit in a tub of ice water. There you go.
Yeah, because you just want to get your core temperature down. basically, to where you're a little more comfortable. But
It'd
yeah,
probably be a
fevers.
it'd probably be a bad day to jump in the river here. It's raining. You probably wind up washed out to the ocean. All right, yeah. So Christina's recommending white willow bark.
White willow bark.
White willow bark. Yeah, I know that's been a remedy for a long time. I guess when they used to make tea out of it, though, it's pretty hard on the stomach. The white willow tea or whatever. Yeah, and knock that headache out, but then you got to puke your guts out for a while. So
Well, I mean, I made a post on my Instagram earlier this week, so I'm fighting off a sinus infection, and I bought this Sinew something or other, or oregano. So it's like oregano oil, sea salt, some minerals that you shove up your nose, and that really seems to have really helped the sinus infection. And I haven't. Usually they take me out at least for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. Um, but this time I caught it quick enough, or the stuff is really effective. And so, yeah. So my point is, at least me, I don't know about Tom, but I think plants aren't food, but I still think they have medicinal properties under certain circumstances and for short-term duration.
yeah, why not? I mean, we all need remedies for something. I mean, you cut your finger open or something. I'm sure there's some natural remedies you could put on it that are probably plant based. Whatever. Yeah. It's just that converted thinking of like, people think they need to be choking down herbs and this and that. They've got to have spinach or they won't get enough iron or whatever it is. They got to eat coconut oil because it's the healthiest fat when it's probably inferior to cow fat, right?
Got to have olive oil and avocado oil.
Right. Yeah, we were talking about that with Joe yesterday. A lot of the olive oils actually contaminated with other vegetable oils. It's a common thing to cut it.
Which
Just
is why
like it
you
was
have to look for the extra, 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 extra virgin olive oil.
This is good to get the stuff that wasn't, because usually it's done illegally. I mean, some brands are blatant,
The being
but
cut.
yeah. Especially when there's, like you mentioned, there was a shortage a while back, but a lot of people do it just to increase profits illegally. So, rumor has it that some of the olive oil production in Italy is what they call mobbed up. So,
Zing.
yeah, Raymond pointed out that, a lot of the olive oil does have canola oil in it. So, I know that was one of the things, one of the positive things about shopping at like Costco and Sam's Club. They have their own sort of stringent testing for products. So they tend to catch things like that. Whereas not every supermarket chain spend some kind of money on testing. So, but they do that with everything, including their furniture and all kinds of stuff. So I know a guy whose girlfriend works for a furniture supplier for them. Makes a lot of money. Rich people. So let's see. Do you have any signs of scurvy there, Justin?
Well, I still have the fractured tooth from when I was 16 and got really hammered. Tried to do push ups in the middle of the street. Lost my balance and slammed my face tooth first into the asphalt. So I think that's a symptom, right?
No.
Oh, well, maybe not then.
Yeah, I'm thinking like bleeding gums, teeth falling out randomly, black splotches on your legs. Any of that going on?
Well, I mean, I could lie about my legs right now.
Why
Maybe it's
would you
just a
lie?
spider bite or something.
Why would you lie? You have a bite
Well,
on your leg. You think that's scurvy related?
it could be.
Because it tastes good. Your legs are extra tasty. I mean, is that the deal?
Hey man, I'm out here in Missouri. We got different kind of spiders out here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is negative on the scurvy symptoms?
I don't think so. They say it sets in about 6 weeks, and I'm rounding up on 4 years. So I think would have already erased all the collagen in my body
Hmm.
by now or something.
So no sign of collagen shortage.
No sign. I don't think.
And you're not dosing peptides every day?
No,
No.
I would say not. Nor am I chucking down raw liver
No
for the
raw
vitamin
liver? How
C.
dare you?
No, no vitamin C. Or no liver, no vitamin C.
How dare you? So, any other symptoms for being on a carnivore diet?
Um,
Are you having angry
occasion
dreams about eating bread?
occasional freezing. No, I haven't had a carb dream in quite a long time.
All right. So,
Sorry, Tom, your video is super delayed. It's like kind of really throwing me off, but it's okay. Focus.
look at something else. So, anyways, what was that article you want to talk about?
So it was in Facebook. I don't think it was an article, but it was just a post by Dr. Lugstig.
Lustig.
I feel like his name, the letters are in the wrong places.
It's Lustig. Robert Lustig, MD.
MD. What
And
what
what?
nationality is that, you think?
I don't know. Jesus, dude, I have no idea.
You know the Europeans people? You know what they're up to?
I know the Europeans people.
Yeah.
It was Scandinavian, maybe. Do you think all us white people come from the same place or something?
Well, you guys all come from around the same place.
No, we don't.
Like less than 1,000-mile radius?
No, we don't.
Yeah, you do.
No, we don't.
How many miles is all of Europe?
They don't all come from Europe, dude. And you got to talk about when. Caucasians originated in Asia. Come on now. That's a
Right,
long ways.
Caucasian.
They wandered thousands of miles before they got to Europe.
But they weren't they weren't white then.
Yeah, they were. Jesus, man, that's where they came from. And they went down into India and they mixed with the people from that were the indigenous farmers down there in India, and yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
1,000-mile radius. That's still about 1,000 miles.
You
So.
saw that bust of Cleopatra, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Notice anything? This is the last pharaoh of Egypt, and she's freaking Caucasian.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's illegal, man.
I mean, she was from Macedonia, probably, but that's why they find white mummies in the Gobi Desert. You know where the Gobi Desert is?
Yeah.
Hmm. So tell me, white people all come from the same place, because we sure as hell don't all come from the same culture.
Fine. You and your logic and speaking things. I did find the post though. It's not an article, it's a post.
And explain it.
Share screen or just talk with words.
Sure, go for it. Share away.
Or as they say on StreamYard, present.
Tell us what's the haps.
Can you see this?
It's coming up. It's coming up. It's coming up.
So for those that don't know, Robert Lustig wrote fat, what's it called? Damn it. I was reading it too, but I can't remember the name of the book now. Help me out, Tom.
You mean which one of the grain books he wrote?
Yeah. Didn't he write something fat? Fat Chance, right? That's Dr.
Yeah,
Lustig.
he wrote Fat Chance. I thought you were going for what's the other one? He wrote the sugar book too. Well, I think the recent one was Hacking the American Mind, right?
That was Lustig?
Wasn't it?
I don't think that was Lustig.
I think he was a co-author on it.
Mm.
He wrote The Real Truth About Sugar.
Mm.
What was the other one I was thinking of? But anyways, go on about your story there, and I'll do a little homework.
Okay. So this is, as you can see, a real post from Dr. Lustig. Announcing, drumroll please, the debut of Biolumin. I guess he has a company called Future Food Tech San Francisco. This is a proprietary soluble, insoluble fiber mixture that expands in the stomach and sequesters glucose, fructose, sucrose, and simple starches to render them unavailable for absorption. The microbiome gets the carbohydrates, not you, and they generate short chain fatty acids, which are anti inflammatory. In other words, this product recapitulates the effect of the fiber on food that was removed by the food industry. It can be taken as a supplement or added to processed food. We're making coconut biolumin gelato. While processed food is still the enemy, it's not going away, but biolumin can help. It will make processed food healthier. And you can see them. There's the team. I don't know which one of these is Dr. Lustig, if any of them.
I think it's that guy right there.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I thought that was really interesting because it's like.
So it's
now
a food additive.
Right. I don't know if you'd call it I don't know if it's supposed to be pills, food additive. It's going to come in a powder. I would imagine you either take it before you eat or while you're eating, I'm assuming. Maybe mix it in water, have like 8 ounces 8 ounces of water with that biolumin, and then eat within half an hour or something. I would imagine timing might be important or something. I don't know.
Guess what?
Chicken butt.
Janice is back.
Oh, wow.
Hey.
Hey.
Janice.
I saw Dr. Lustig. He was like one of the first people I ever remember like learning about before carnivore. Were you guys talking about he's like anti-sugar or something?
Well, he's got some new additive that's supposed to help block the absorption of carbohydrates.
Glucose, sucrose, and fructose.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So basically, he's invented a product that makes, and this is his words, that makes processed food healthier, because it prevents the absorption of the glucose, the fructose, et cetera, et cetera. So it's kind of interesting.
How could it prevent that? That's so weird.
Well, it sounds as though, so it says it's an insoluble and soluble fiber. So the way I'm imagining it is that in a way it clogs you up so that you can't absorb that stuff.
Well, it sounds to me like it binds to it. I'm hoping it doesn't clog you up. That would kind of be the opposite of what fibers usually do. But I mean that's the problem with eating fibers in general is it binds with nutrients and they just pass through you. So they cause malnourishment just like phytic acid does.
Yeah, so that would be one problem, right? Is it really sophisticated that it only binds to the bad stuff and doesn't bind to the good stuff? Like if you're having a steak and some broccoli and a piece of cake, how does it know to only bind to the cake or
I'm sure
to
that's
the
that's
broccoli?
a matter of chemistry.
Right. So interesting. I'm of two minds about it. I think one, I think it's can be helpful. Hi, Miss Patricia. For those that are unfortunately addicted to these processed foods, um, but on the other side, going back to like root cause healing and everything, it's just so that people don't have to battle with that addiction, right? Or to make that real leap of behavior and food change. Um, because okay, even if they're taking that, I'm not. I mean, I would imagine it would have a little impact on diabetic numbers and maybe lose a bit of weight. Um, but I don't think it's not like I just don't see it as like a good solution overall. It's kind of like a cheat a little bit. You know, they're still not getting any nutrients, right, or a good amount of nutrients.
Yeah, you're just kind of alleviating some of the effects of the bad food. But I mean, hey, maybe it'll help some people. So Janice, let's get caught up. What have you been up to?
I was just thinking about is that why vegans always look so malnourished because they're not getting like nutrient absorption.
Yeah, that's part of the problem is, first of all, you look at the plant foods and sometimes they're rich in one thing or another, but they're devoid in others. And then the all the anti-nutrients either block absorption or bind with the nutrients. So that was a famous study they did with they fed people oysters and they measured
Wasn't it?
their zinc levels, their serum zinc go up, and then they repeated it and they fed them oysters with black beans, and the black beans, uh, the anti-nutrients of the black beans bind with things like zinc and prevent them from being absorbed. So you could see that the people were actually getting a lot less of the nutrients out of the oysters, right? Just because they're eating at the same time as the black beans.
My infrared light just fell over behind me.
What's that?
I have one of those infrared lights from BNS. BNS, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just got it mixed up with that K-pop band. I was like, wait, what is he?
That's too
Because my
funny.
friend at work is obsessed with BNS. No, BKS. Sorry, is it BKS? The K-pop band.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, I just had bone marrow for the first time. It was so good.
Making it
Yummy.
yourself or
No, I went to this
Yes.
restaurant. They had prime. I just went out to eat by myself. They had prime New York steak that was served with bone marrow, and so I really wanted to try bone marrow. It was really good. You're right, Tom. It's good.
Hey, Justin, do you have any pictures of the bone marrow from Meat on Ocean?
We ate bone marrow at Meat on Ocean.
Oh, come on, dude. You don't remember?
Everything there was so good that I can't. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to text her a picture of it because it was amazingly well presented.
Is that where you went with Joe then? You said
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a buddy, Doug Farnsworth, that's the executive chef for that chain of restaurants. So we got the VIP tour and had an amazing meal. We let him order for us so we could get all the highlights off the menu. So
like over again. Don't tell BNS I'm like breaking my infrared light.
Or there's an earthquake happening.
Keep knocking it over.
It's California.
Oops. I just keep backing into it. It's pretty durable though. So you can tell BNS. It's BNS, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's BNS.
I
In
can't
fact, I'm
handle it.
I owe him a return message. He messaged me today. So yeah, he BNS has got a new new video on his new English channel.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's something like my life changed completely. I changed my life with these 11 lessons. So
That's his thing that his life changed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so anyways, yeah, so I guess he launched another English speaking channel. So good for BNS. For those who don't know, BNS is our old buddy. He lives in India. He lives over there in the southeastern part of India, and they speak Tangala, I think it is. I have to look it up, see how to see. So, anyways, yeah. So
There's
he's
only like 1,000 different dialects, so
yeah, that's the problem. There's like 1,000 dialects over there, 5 main languages. So we're always learning about that from BNS. Let's see.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
And we
Raymond.
call him BNS because his name is unpronounceable to us.
Yes, people this far west can't pronounce it. So BNS has a YouTube channel and stuff like that. So he's
He
on.
just hit 500,000 YouTube subscribers on his Indian speaking channel. I don't know how else to say that.
Yeah, he's like a rock star in India.
Yeah.
Raymond made a comment that I was thinking the same thing. This thing that new product Lustig's putting out reminds me of Alestra. Do you guys remember Alestra?
Isn't that new? Right? Ish? Yeah.
Is it new-ish? Damn, I'm frozen.
What is
No, you're here.
what's
No.
Well, it's a medication that like blocks your absorption.
It's a food additive.
I thought. Never mind. I'm getting confused with.
They would
something
put it
else.
in corn chips and everything. And yeah, so like it binds with the fats and then it passes through you, but it would cause anal leakage because
Oh,
all this slimy stuff would just kind of ooze out of you.
oh. Have you guys heard about the baby diet? It's
Oh, you
Baby
just
food
only
diet?
eat baby food?
No, it's BEBBI, beef, eggs, bacon, butter, and ice cream. Have you heard of that?
No.
Like a form
No.
of carnivore, but it's supposed to be like anti-inflammatory. But you know how they say it's better if you're gonna cheat to eat like ice cream with like cane sugar instead of just like other stuff in it. Have you heard of that?
No.
I'm not sure if I would agree with that, but
Well, I mean, this guy, it's a doctor, and I mean, I was looking up carnivore, and I just stumbled upon it because I thrive on beef, bacon, butter, and eggs. But then he added ice cream, and it was all about like fertility. He was like a fertility doctor, which kind of makes sense, right? Like that you would be eating a lot of fat, but he recommends making like homemade ice cream, like using cane sugar. I guess he's figuring that people like can't do carnivore, like they need that sweet, and so that would be like
kind of sounds like a little bit of the Ray Pete kind of. Like,
yeah.
You need
What's
sugar.
that? What's that one doctor that wears a hat? What's his name?
Where's that?
Where's the hat?
Can't remember his name. Anyways, yeah, there's one carnivore. I think pretty sure he's considered a carnivore doctor, but
So, what are your thoughts on the baby? They say it's pronounced baby, like baby, because it's supposed to help with fertility. I just like stumbled upon it. Let me see what the doctor's name. I thought it was interesting. It's Dr.
Kiltz. That's who I was trying to think of.
Oh,
yeah.
Dr. Kiltz.
Yeah.
He recommends regular sugar. I swear I've seen his ice cream recipe and there's not sugar in it, or there's
Maybe he
xylitol or
recommends it
something.
over the plant sweeteners, the 0 cal sweeteners, because of course there's been a lot of back and forth about like erythritol causing heart disease and stuff like that. People are starting to question that now. So,
So, what are your thoughts on this? Yeah, it says bacon, eggs, butter, beef, ice cream, and intermittent fasting.
well, let's start with eggs. I mean, one of the questions I've always had is, particularly when women are pregnant, they tell them to take folic acid, right?
Yeah.
It's a common in prenatal vitamins. It's usually the major ingredient prenatal vitamins, but folic acid is inferior to folate as a nutrient, right? It's kind of like the lesser form of folate, and eggs are rich in folate, right? Egg yolks. So, and it's a whole food, right? So you don't have to worry about the bioavailability like you do when you're taking a capsule, right? Or a pill.
Hmm.
So from that angle, it makes sense, eat the eggs. And the sugar content really, I mean, it's the dose that makes the poison. So like, how much sugar are we talking about?
Well, that's why he says just make your homemade ice cream and not put that much. It's like mostly cream and eggs, I think, and then just a little bit of sugar. So I think he's really just doing it for people who think they just can't eliminate anything sweet, you know?
Well, I think that's one of the reasons why keto is so popular is because there's so many keto substitute foods, and
Mhm.
there's all the, 0 calorie plant sweeteners that don't raise your blood sugar or don't spike your blood sugar, erythritol, xylitol, monk
Maybe.
fruit, and on and on and on. And people make progress on it. And then you have the people that are like, triggered by the sweetness. They have a real sweet tooth, and it triggers their carb addiction, and they have something sweet and they go right back down the carb hole.
Mm.
So that's not everybody though, by any stretch of the imagination, you know, but those people might be at risk. So
Yeah.
have you tried it yet, Janice?
What?
The baby diet.
I pretty much eat the baby diet.
You are.
That's what I
You're the
eat.
walking, talking example of
Yeah.
it.
I basically eliminated somehow along the way. I stopped eating chicken, except right now I went out today to buy my Costco ribeye, and they were out of ribeye and New York in terms of
Damn.
prime. And I just didn't get anything. So I ended up getting like some organic chicken wings or something. But I don't really eat chicken anymore. So it is really beef. I mean, I eat ribeye, you know, butter. Although the Kerrygold butter has changed, have you noticed? It's different now. Remember how they like took it away because they said there was something like in the foil, like the toxins in the foil, but then they put it back out, and I feel like they reformulated it. It seems like it's different to me. Did you notice that at all? Have you
I
noticed?
haven't been able to get the sticks in a while, just
Mm.
the tub.
Oh,
So a couple of weeks ago, I was over in California and I tried to find butter for Tom, and I could not find a stick of butter. Like literally, could not buy. Even if I had $1,000 for a stick of butter,
well,
I
it's
could
back
not buy
though.
butter.
But the Kerrygold's back. I don't know what about butter in general, but I also been getting the Strauss organic European style butter. That is good, lightly salted,
I
so
Mm.
good.
I bought that one time. I'm trying to remember where I saw it, and I'd never seen it. And I just bought it out of curiosity, and it was good, but it's not real common. Where'd you find it?
I get it at Whole Foods. They sell it in box, like 4 sticks in a box. But the Kerrygold, I swear they changed it. Like they after they pulled it back, they like put it back on the shelves, and it seems
Hmm.
different.
It's always better to stick with the devil, you know.
Yeah, we were still seeing shortages of eggs and butter in particular. And so I was asking the people because I usually go to Sam's Club,
Mm.
and he said we're getting our normal shipments. He's like, people are just buying it like crazy. He's
Huh.
like, that we normally get a shipment. I forgot what he said. It comes in like Sunday night or Monday morning, and he starts his shift at like 12:30 in the afternoon on Mondays, and he said it's half gone, and it's a week supply. He said sometimes by the
What?
time they close Monday night, it's gone.
What are
And
they doing with it?
I think what happened was their prices are just better, so more people started shopping there.
Oh,
And then, but at the same time, the egg supply, just the regular supermarket's been kind of spotty.
mm.
That or I don't know, butter and eggs just got tremendously more popular somehow. I don't know.
I wonder if it's like keto stuff. I mean, but yeah,
Maybe.
the beef is like. I mean, it seems like it's. I was watching Dr. Chaffee. Is that how he says his name? Chaffee.
Chafee,
Chafee.
Chafee.
like
Chafee.
a scratch. Chafee.
Oh, Chafee. Oh, that's funny. He
Feeling kind of chafee.
he was saying, or he was interviewing some guy who's been a carnivore for 40 years. Did you see that one?
Not that one, but I think Bart interviewed that guy.
Yeah.
He's a bit tall and lengthy looking.
Yeah, he's like 6'6" or something.
Yeah.
But it's kind of crazy how he said that, like, he started doing it as a kid just to like put on weight,
Mm.
and then, but he was talking about how he could eat, like, he hasn't had health insurance since like the 90s, and that he basically, or he hasn't, and same thing, like he said his jaw actually, like his teeth didn't crowd because he initially had tooth decay when he was eating like regular foods, but then he switched to meat, and his jaw ended up like being large enough to accommodate his like wisdom teeth and everything. And so, and then he ended up growing like super tall, even though, I mean, it was just kind of crazy that he's like a living experiment of eating, and not even like high quality meat. He's just been eating because he's on a budget, so he just eats like just any kind of meat he can get, like ground beef. And but I was thinking that's kind of crazy. Like, isn't he like the longest carnivore like alive that we know of? Then, if he's been doing it for like
Probably.
40 years and
Mhm.
he's like in his 50s, that's like a
Yeah.
really long.
And like he still has his hair, right? Like he's not balding or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, and he doesn't have any health problems.
It's too late for some of us, but
I think he's been carnivore since like 86 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
More or less. I think he, what is he? He has some kind of fruit in his backyard in the summer from time to time. But
He
other
said
than
he'll use
that,
like a tomato or something with his beef. And then he eats iguanas. I was just listening to that part of the thing where he's saying
he's like chicken.
because they're around, so he like eats them. I was like, okay, now you're making carnivores seem weird.
Does he live in Florida or something?
I don't remember where he said he lived, but I was like, don't make us seem freaky,
Yeah, people down in Florida eat iguanas. So
I've been
probably.
telling a lot more people about carnivore now again,
Aw.
like just at work.
Are you growing the tribe?
Well, I don't know whether there's only one guy at work who's been doing it, for a few months or whatever, but it was really because I stopped being the wellness person and I felt like I could speak freely.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
terribly ironic.
But then now I'm covering again. So now I feel like, but you know what? I just see people and they're so like miserable looking, right? And they're struggling, you see them and you're just like thinking they have all these conditions, right? Like skin stuff and like diabetes and just, it's just like, and then at work we have those little candy jars, where people like all day long, like they're just looking for that hit of sugar. And I keep thinking to myself, like, all of the problems that people have could just go away if they just did carnivore.
Yeah, certainly most of them problems would go away, huh?
Well, like a lot of problems.
Yeah.
And then also just people think it's expensive, but it really isn't because you don't have to buy that much,
Yeah, tell us about that. So we're starting a little thing called the Carnivore Checklist, more or less for comedic purposes, but like we want to discuss the basic questions as much as possible. Like, doesn't it cost a lot? Don't you get constipated? And don't you get scurvy? So tell us, I mean, what do you think your budget's like? I mean, or compared how much you're spending now compared to what you used to spend pre-carnivore?
Oh my God, I spend so much less. Like now I've been carnivore now. I was just thinking today since like 2019. So that's kind of a longer time.
Mhm.
And well, I think the budget is really good. And then also shopping's really easy because now I buy like 2 packs of steak a week. I get Prime. So like that's at, ribeye at Costco. So we're talking like that might be like $120 for the meat, right? And it's like I don't necessarily, some weeks I only buy one pack, so it might be like $60. And that sounds like a lot, but then I buy like one pack of eggs, like 18 like organic pastured, so that's like $11. And then I buy the Kerrygold butter at Costco, so that might be like 4 big old blocks for like, I don't know, like maybe $13-14. And then I've been buying decaf coffee to do my buttered coffee, and that lasts like a really long time. And then I actually bought Costco bacon, and it was like 4 packs of bacon for like $11, but it wasn't very good bacon. Like I actually prefer the bacon at Whole Foods, so that's like $6 or $7 for the bacon. But it's like that for the entire week, right? And then feeling like super satisfied and like not having to think about food. That's like pretty cheap. And that's getting like really good meat. Like I could switch to like ground beef, or like Costco sells like 3 packs of the Wagyu ground beef, which is really fatty. But lately, this week, I've been doing, I sear I cook the bacon, like just a few sticks of bacon, and I've been like searing my steak in
Bacon fat.
the bacon fat.
Mm.
And I bring it to work, and like every single day, I'm like, I mean, because I eat one steak, but I can eat part of it like when I first get hungry, and then the rest of it later. So that might.
Why do you have to live so far away?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's really inexpensive. And then the whole scurvy thing, I'm thinking, I don't know. That's like such baloney, because that's always the first thing everybody says. I'm like, I haven't eaten anything with like vitamin C since 2019, right? And I have no constipation at all and no gas. So to me, those are the best things, right? No farting, and it's like no gut ache and no constipation. And I was just watching one of those videos. I think it was Dr. Chafee who was saying something about how when you have the right amount of fat, then your poop is like soft, right? It's not like diarrhea, but it's not like hard. It's just soft, and it just comes out like, because that's the right amount of. So I find like for a while I've gone toward like, I get the prime meat because I feel like it has the right amount of fat for me. But I actually switched to New York's for a while because they're way cheaper than ribeye, right? I switched to prime New York, and I did fine on that. But then if I feel like you get more cravings if you're not eating enough fat. So you either have to backfill with like eggs or like bacon or butter. So I feel like you have to have beef. You don't have to have chicken. You definitely don't have to have seafood. But I feel like if you don't have beef as like kind of like, at least for me, like just 7 days a week, I have to have at least 3 steaks, right? Because I don't have to have steak every day, but I have to have at least 3 steaks. So even like prime steak, that's like $60 a week for the core. I look at that's my core, and then I fill around the edges with like eggs, which are cheaper, bacon, cheaper, butter, cheaper, right? And I'm not even really on like a budget, but it's just when I was a vegetarian, I spent so much money because I was always hungry. And you're buying all those prepared foods, and I would like just plow through bags of chips, and because I was craving fat. I realized like you can't control that craving for fat, but it's the wrong kind of fat, right? It's like things fried in like plant or seed oil versus just eating butter. And somebody just said to me recently, who's not a carnivore, they just said to me, you know what? It doesn't make sense that fat makes you fat. And I'm like, thank you, right? Like you can eat so much butter, and you can eat like tonight. I just had the New York Prime, steak at this restaurant. It had like a thick old layer of fat, and I just ate it, and it was like, I'm stuffed, right? You know how when you eat a lot of fat, you're just like, I'll never eat again. You feel so satisfied. And I've heard some of the carnivore ladies, I've been listening a little bit around the edges about them all going like higher fat. And it seems like, especially for women, like I feel like if I don't eat enough fat, I just start craving. Like everything just comes in, like cravings for just, anything, snacks, or suddenly there's a sugar craving. Suddenly, I mean, that just seems pretty common now to hear that, like, that's the first thing, like you're not getting enough fat, and then you immediately just start wanting to cheat, So anyway, that was like what was your other thing at the checklist? So scurvy.
Yeah. So you don't
constantly.
have any bleeding gums, your teeth aren't falling out,
Oh,
you don't
no, I think my teeth are like, they're super strong and they don't bleed anymore. When I used to, oh my God, as a vegetarian, my teeth were a mess. My
really.
gums were bleeding. I'd had sensitive teeth. My gums were eroding. And like, it just, they were so sensitive. And now it's like the greatest thing, unless you eat, like, have you noticed that unless you eat like salami, or like things where it gets caught in your teeth don't have anything in between them. And I do,
I gotta floss after every meal.
oh,
Yeah,
I
pretty
always have
much. Yeah.
steak in my teeth.
but have you, well, I guess you do get some chunks of like, but have you noticed that your teeth, I feel like my teeth are like spacing out because I used to have like
Mm.
really bad crowding when I was
Mm.
growing up. And I've been like, have you heard the thing about called mewing? Something
Yeah,
about
I've heard people do it as a practice. Yeah, right.
like reshape the roof of your mouth and your jaw. Anyway, I think it all ties together, right? Because the guy I was watching Michaela Peterson, the guy was talking about mewing, and he was talking about how chewing your food, like when you eat like meat, like you're using your jaw, right? You're like it's like strengthening your whole your jaw and like spacing things out, and it's like I don't know. To me, like after all these years, like I feel like everything like fits together now. Like all of these little bits about health, but that's the part that baffles me is like the meat thing is like so basic. It's so basic. It solves because I was at the bookstore today and I'm looking at all the magazines, right? And when you look at like women's magazines in particular, there's always this shit about diet and like recipes. And it's like so much management, right? Because you're always like, what should I cook for dinner? And you got to go and get this huge grocery list and spend all this money. And you're trying to find all this stuff that's like the perfect intersection of not costing a lot, doesn't take a lot of time to prepare, and it's supposed to be healthy for you, right? Oh, you got your fiber and all this baloney. And it's like when you eliminate that, your life is just so easy. It's so easy, like you don't have to think about anything.
Right. Yeah, yeah. I mean, literally, like I could cook a steak in a pan that's just got fat left over from the last steak.
That's what I do.
And if I need a little fat, I throw some butter in, right?
Yeah.
And then I put salt on it sometimes, right?
Yeah, I just salt that now I have it down. I wake up early in the morning. I take my steak out. I want to get it to room temperature, right? I like dry it with paper towels, throw the salt on, leave it out for like an hour or more. And then while I'm getting ready, I'm like doing my hair and my makeup. I've got it down, like I sear it for 2 minutes. I go do some like face products. I run back out. I flip it over and sear it. And then I can almost feel the timing now, right? And then I do 3 minutes aside.
You're
like,
one with the steak.
yes.
You use the force. Feel the steak.
I'm doing
The
my hair
steak
and
force.
and I'm like, exactly. And then I come out and then I let it stand, while I'm like getting ready, and then I throw it in a flat Pyrex, and I'm out the door. And every day
down to a science.
people hear me like because I don't bring a plate, so I just bring like a knife. And I bring like my fork, and you can hear it because it's kind of grating on the edge of the Pyrex, and you can hear me in there like, and I just eat it in chunks, like it's so unladylike. I just like, I'm eating and I'm like working and I'm like gnawing away at it. But I feel like that's how we're supposed to be, right? We're supposed to be like gnawing at it and not have it all like, anyway.
Couldn't agree more. You've done an excellent job of explaining it, and we're all looking forward to your new cooking channel.
Well, you don't need to cook anything. That's the thing. I mean,
Well, you could do makeup and cook at the same time. There'll
I'll
be
show all the
5-minute
videos.
videos.
I'm running back and forth.
Uh-huh.
Me, like I put on my like little toner and I run back out.
Well,
But also, I'm curious to know because the I think Kelly Hogan was saying something like her skin got better when she went high fat. So I'm kind of testing that out. Like I've been just like being more liberal with the butter and the fat because I feel like now I'm getting older. Oh, somebody was saying you don't need to supplement with collagen. I think it was Dr. What's the guy's name? The Southern guy, the main guy.
Ken
Dr.
Berry.
Berry.
Oh yeah, Dr. Berry. He was saying you don't need to supplement with collagen because you're just getting collagen from like the
Well, when I forget how I was looking it up, but there's a whole bunch of studies that the American Dermatology Association did. When you eat fructose, fruit sugar, it cross links with collagen, and then your body can't repair it. So, and of course, collagen makes up your bones. It makes up the extracellular matrix, which all the cells attach themselves to. So I think that's one of the reasons why people are on plant-based diets seem to look like they're aging more. People that eat a lot of fruit or honey or whatever, their collagen just isn't getting maintenance because it's been bound up with the fructose. So it may be, as time goes on, the farther we get away from all that fruit we're eating. I know before I started, I was eating like an apple and a banana and an orange like every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus other fruit, seasonal fruit or whatever come along. It's like, oh, we gotta get some strawberries and some blueberries and some raspberries and some blackberries and on and on, pears and even the occasional pawpaw, the mysterious North American fruit that nobody eats. So
I thought you were talking about Popov, the vodka that's at the bottom of the shelf.
oh, Popov?
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's where my mind went.
Well,
I don't even think they even make that anymore. I haven't seen that around in quite a while.
I think it's still around.
Yeah. Oh, the teenage days.
So has the carnivore community grown in the past year, you think?
Well, I think it constantly grows. I just think it's sadly getting a little goofy because now, like, you've got the high protein camp versus the high fat camp versus the animal based with fruit camp versus the calories in, calories out camp. Yeah. So as humans that we are, we just can't agree. So we've always got
calories in, calories out. Who believes that?
There's still people that believe that, it all boils down to how many calories you eat, because I mean, you can never escape the pressure of people just wanting to lose weight. They're trying a new diet. They're focused on losing weight. They're not talking about body composition. They're looking at a number on the scale, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, everybody knows if you want to lose weight, you got to restrict calories. But everybody knows who's done it for any length of time that it doesn't work out. You can lose some weight eventually, but you can't sustain a caloric deficit for that long normally. And then, people have done the experiments so that you can overeat and lose weight. Like you can eat a surplus of calories and lose weight, but you might also gain even on carnivore, right? So it kind of depends, and then, I mean, everybody starts with this idea that they like to call it the first law of thermodynamics, but it's really has nothing to do with that. The law of conservation says that, energy is conserved in a system. So when we'll say we're just talking about fat for now, when you eat a surplus of fat, you either have to use it or store it. But that doesn't work because human beings are not a closed system. And that's what that is referring to, is a closed system, closed sort of theoretical system, right? Mm-hmm. But human beings, we both know that, you can excrete excess calories, right? They just go right out your backside,
Yeah, I've never counted calories this entire time. I eat so much. Like if calorically, I would not even know. Like, I mean, I eat like so much just like straight fat that I think, God, that must be a lot of calories. But I've never, that's the beauty of it. It's like that's the first thing they say to me when I tell them. Well, they go, oh, well, the reason why you're not gaining weight is because you just don't eat that much. And I'm like, I think I am, like calorically, I think I'm eating a lot.
So I really pushed it while I was on vacation. So Tom was there with me. I ate probably, I'm going to say probably 2.5 pounds of meat in one sitting, I think. I really, even to myself, I pushed it too far. And I no issue. Like my body probably just healed something with it, I didn't
we were
even
out
have
for
to
Korean barbecue and he was making me sick. I couldn't believe what he was eating. He went like he ate 4 more courses worth of meat than I did.
But the thing is what you're saying, Justin, about your body doing something with it. I notice, like, I have a huge appetite, right? And I
Mhm.
notice that the more like quality meat I eat, I take pride when like nothing comes out, like almost nothing, because I'm like, oh, guess what? That all got used, right? It built
Right.
something, it did something, and I feel
Mhm.
like you spend this money on this food, and the thing when you're a vegetarian is like you see it coming out the other end. So you spend all this
Mhm.
money, and then there it comes out your butt, right? But it's like if you buy like for sure, I feel like the highest, like I feel like all eggs and all beef can definitely be like almost entirely like the whole thing can get used, right? I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
Mhm.
I
it's
feel like more about
estimated.
like bacon. I mean, I feel like I like bacon because I like that boost in fat, but I feel like
Well, when it
if I could only buy one thing, it would be beef.
well, bacon's only 50-50, actually, fat to protein. Yeah.
But do you
When
think it's like fully usable? Like I feel like I don't see any waste product coming out. If I eat beef, bacon, butter, and eggs, pretty much nothing comes out.
Yeah, like
so
beef is somewhere in the realm of about 97, 98% completely bioavailable.
Mm,
Yeah.
like that.
And it's
What's next?
the
What about pork and eggs?
I don't know about pork and eggs, but I know that like Justin and I've done experiments with drinking raw eggs, and like it doesn't really seem to produce any residue.
Yeah. Residue.
Well, and the biggest problems with pork and eggs is what we feed them conventionally. And so even if we had those numbers, they may not be accurate unless it was done on, some organic boar, or some wild boar, and then, some pasture chickens or something like that. Um,
But you don't eat grass-fed beef, though, right?
no, no, but all beef is technically grass fed. It's a stipulation, but technically, yeah, because
Yeah,
when
cows
it
Well,
have
what I
to
comes,
mean,
eat.
what I mean is you eat like regular like.
Well, they don't eat. Cows don't eat much soy, whereas pigs
Oh,
can eat quite a bit more.
oh,
And then chicken feed frequently has a lot of soy in it, and not that you can't necessarily absorb it, but people tend to react to um, the meat if there's too much soy in it, and they have a soy sensitivity.
I see.
Because grass, cows have to spend most of their time eating grass. That's why they fatten them up at the end. Because when they do fatten them up on grain, they're kind of hitting that limit to the amount of grain a cow can actually eat.
Oh,
And it's typically it's not just soy, it's a lot of corn and stuff like that. And what's deceiving about that, because a lot of people still believe that cattle are bad for the environment or whatever, and part of it is them eating all these agricultural products other than grass, right? But what you find out is that cows eat the stalks, the leaves, the corn cobs. They're not just munching down on Jolly Green Giant niblets like a person might, right? So that corn feed includes stuff like that's inedible to humans, and they also get the low grade corn that's not deemed fit for humans, right? So the crops that were in a drought, or the weather was bad, or they got some sort of blight or something, that will go to cows, but it's usually just at the end. Dairy cows are different because they feed them a special diet to help them produce plenty of milk, right? So they eat like cottonseed and weird stuff like that. But even most of the supplemental feed for all the cows is things like alfalfa. And I don't know why people freak out about that, because it's just a giant grass, right?
mm, yeah.
So
hey guys, I'm signing off for the evening. Got some things to
Thanks.
tend to, but great to see you, Janice.
Good to
Thanks,
see you,
Tom.
Justin.
I plan on being back next week, so there we go. But
Right.
everyone, good night, everyone. See
all
ya on
right.
the internets.
Yeah,
Bye.
we can wrap this one up. So it's great seeing you. Thanks everybody for coming. Don't forget to like and view and send your friends and enemies links to the videos. And until next time, eat some meat, feel
Feel
better,
better,
and whatever you
whatever
do,
you do.
don't fall down
Don't
Bye.
that
fall
carb hole.
down the carb hole, the alfalfa hole if you're a cow.